Let's ride.
So the fighting is on the east side of the country, the front line there. We've seen terrible fighting in Bakhmut, but in the west, in Lviv and Kyiv, things can be relatively quiet when there aren't incoming cruise missiles. So this will be a source of fear for a lot of people in the capital moving forward.
Amien, thanks so much. That's Amien Asif reporting from.
A few minutes later.
We begin our show this morning in Ukraine. The country is dealing with the aftermath of the first major wave of Russian missile strikes in weeks.
Ukrainian officials say more than 80 missiles were fired overnight, targeting infrastructure facilities across the country. Ukraine's Air Force says it shot down more than 30 cruise missiles. The barrage hit a number of major cities, including the capital, Kyiv, Odessa in the south, and Kharkiv in the east. Strikes were also reported in the western region of Lviv, where at least 5 people were killed. That's according to the local governor. He posted this video on the messaging app Telegram, which he says shows the aftermath of the attack. NBC News foreign correspondent Megan Fitzgerald joins us now with the latest on all this. So, Megan, what can you tell us about these attacks?
Well, Joe, good to be with you. As you mentioned, we're just seeing a...
Just then.
Military analyst, retired Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell. And Sean, as Stuart was saying, you know, the fact that they're in the war, the anger over these barrages doesn't cease, does it? How significant was what happened last night?
Well, it was the first time in the last 3 weeks that Russia's launched one of these major attacks. The Russian defense minister has claimed this is a retribution because of the Ukrainian alleged attacks at Bryansk just about a week ago. But these attacks were conducted all across Ukraine, so from Kyiv up to the north, down to Odessa to the south. But there were 10 different regions hit, so it was absolutely widespread. Allegedly, they've announced 6 people have been killed, but when you look at some of the devastation, it's quite possible that number will rise. The Ukrainians say there were 81 missiles launched. That's a bigger number than we've seen for some time, a whole mix of about 8 Shahed 136, those Iranian drones, about a load of cruise missiles. But also, interestingly, they've also reckoned that 6 of these Kinzhal hypersonic missiles seen here on a Foxhound aircraft were also launched. First time we've seen them used in that sort of number. Now, the Ukrainians claim they shot down about 34 of these cruise missiles and 4 of the drones, but inevitably some got through, and even those they shot down, the debris will have fallen on the ground. It does appear the Russians will once again looking at striking energy infrastructure, and here's the Kyiv thermoelectric power plant that was struck last night. As you can see the devastation there, and there's widespread reports of electricity outages across the country this morning.
Meanwhile, at Zaporizhia, again, a really close hit there. And this is, you know, a pretty significant nuclear plant, isn't it?
It is. The Zaporizhia nuclear plant been held by the Russians since right at the start of the war. These Russian strikes knocked out the electricity supply to...
Ну як, ми вже не спали, ми були вдома. І десь 6:40, 6:45 гахнуло. Ну все, пішли у двір. Люди були поранені, їм допомогу. З машин аптечки подавали. Потім машини загорілися, ми спробували гасити автомобільними вогнегасниками, вон трохи припалило.
This is how legends are born.